Hi everyone, my name's Steve Toland. I'm one of the co-founders of TransFICC. Firstly, I named TransFICC. We are translating APIs in the fixed income currencies and commodity markets, as Ben said. High level, you think of it as Google Translate for APIs, so banks need to trade on different execution venues for instruments like bonds. They all have different APIs. What we're doing is translating them all to a single common format. And I've got there that we help improve trading profits. We do that because of the speed of the software, more about that later, and also reducing technology costs. So just a bit of context here. Sell-side banks, there is a dominant vendor in the fixed income space that's pretty expensive. They charge the banks so much money, they were able to outbid Temenos last week for Fidessa. So it's a little bit relative. This is our team. We all worked at LMAX Exchange. That's a FX venue. Everyone on the team is a developer, apart from myself. Regulated exchange, all the technology built in-house, and we are now repurposing it. Also, it's pretty interesting at LMAX, they use some open source technologies, or they release some open source technologies, and we are using some of those. This is the context of the problem. If you're a bank or an asset manager and you're trading in the fixed income markets, you can no longer trade over the phone or using the likes of Bloomberg Messenger. You've got to trade via APIs, and that's for three reasons. One is regulation. You need an audit trail showing how you capture the orders coming in from your customers. You've got to show that you're not trading in front of the customer. And then you've got to prove best execution for that customer. Now, best execution gets difficult because across bonds, swaps, futures, and repos, there are 200 different execution venues in the market, and some of those venues are updating their price points more than 5,000 times a second. So you've got to use APIs. Unfortunately, here's the problem. APIs come in different flavors and sizes. There's more than, of those 200 venues, everyone has a different API specification, and coding to them is really difficult. So the example I've got in the middle there, at the bottom, the new Bloomberg API is 490 pages long, 1,600 fields, and it typically takes a bank 3 months to code to a new API venue. That's very, very painful. That's why they keep with the incumbent vendor. So this is what we're doing. We are building a hosted utility service. We are connecting to those venues, coding to those APIs, and then translating them all to a single standard. The standard that we offer to the customer is basically a Java client library, because most of their applications internally are written in Java. And it's a raw API service. So we're not building the pricing engine or trading tools that the bank would build themselves. We see that's how the banks individually differentiate themselves from each other. In terms of what the product looks like, shown in the circle there, so it's an API client library. It's not so, so user-friendly to demo. But the point here is that normally when you have an API specification, it's a couple of hundred pages long, and you've got to write all that code. We're giving template codes that essentially the developer at the bank can basically use in minutes. And then we have put a developer visualization tool on top, which enables a developer to actually see what's going on with the market, and also helps me demonstrate the product. It's much nicer a demo than a raw API, and that's what I'll show you in the demo in a sec. And here is why we think we're different from the competition. Firstly, trading latencies. Our throughput times are in microseconds versus the competition being in millis. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but in capital markets, if you get there first, you transact at a better price, and that can be huge to your trading profits. And we're doing that by using some open source technology called Aeron and SPE. It's described on the technology page of our website. Both are open source and both have an LMAX pedigree. In terms of our software releases, we're building all our software to an automated testing standard called continuous delivery. It makes us very flexible, which is a real differentiator from the competition. One of our team, Dave Farley, has actually written a book called Continuous Delivery, if you want to look at that. And then just to give some context on the sort of price point, first bank that's going live with us, spend at the moment across 35 trading venues is about $5 million a year. Our projected cost when we've completed, we've still got some of it to build, will be about 700K. So it's a pretty significant saving.